Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Donovan, and today I want to share with you my 48-hour impressions of this device right here. As you can see, it's the Samsung Galaxy Watch that just came out August 24th. I have the 46mm LTE version of the watch, and I've been using this for the last 48 hours. So I want to share with you some of the things I love, some of the things I don't really like so much about this device after using it over the last 48 hours. So let's go ahead and start off with some of the things that I don't love about this watch, just so you guys know right off the bat some of the frustrations I've had using this watch over the last 48 hours. So first off, I want to mention one thing. So I'm going to go in here to an activity. So we'll go in here to the last run that I did. So this was last night. I did a 7-mile run, so you can see that here, 47 minutes. And so I've done 2 full runs with this one. The GPS so far has been fantastic. So absolutely no issues with GPS. If you're looking for a great watch that has excellent GPS, it has been dead on both nights that I've run. So I wouldn't be concerned about that. But what I would be concerned about is the heart rate. So notice here that this shot my heart rate up to somehow up to 205, which really isn't even possible for me to get my heart rate up that high. So the heart rate sensor has been good for like the first about 5 miles of a run, but after that it really hasn't been all that accurate. Once it's like my watch gets or my wrist gets real sweaty, it just is inaccurate after that. So that's the first thing. That's really kind of a minor thing. I know a lot of people really don't care that much about their heart rate, and most people I think that are picking up this watch, probably that's not going to be a deal breaker for them. So let's go with the second thing, and the second thing is much more of a deal breaker for me. Maybe not a deal breaker, but it's a huge frustration. So the second thing would be the music situation. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I put some music on here, so we'll go ahead and open up the app. So one thing you can do is, of course, you can transfer music directly over from your phone. So that is in the Samsung Gear app, and so this is the same thing that you would use in older versions of this watch. So we'll go ahead and jump down here, and you can see that there's an option to add content to your watch and then add tracks. That's where you're going to add music. Pretty simple. Whatever music is on your phone, you can transfer over to the watch. Pretty simple. That part's not so bad. So now I want to show you something. So let's go ahead and just go into track. So I put 62 songs on here. So first song, Taylor Swift. That's kind of embarrassing, but let's go ahead and try it. All right, so notice that when I click on it, it says no tracks. Even though that song is on here, it says no tracks, and it's because of the way the file is formatted on my phone. For some reason, it doesn't read it unless I put it in a certain folder. So that has been really frustrating, because in order to actually get it to read the tracks, I've had to put it into certain folders. So let me show you an example. So what I did is I created a favorites. Basically, I starred all the tracks that I wanted on there. And so now this one, like the Sam Hunt Body Like a Back Road, that one will play, as you can hear. Okay, so that one's played because I put it in a favorites list. So you have to put them in like a particular folder, and even just having folders on your phone and transferring it over doesn't work. So the music situation has been a little bit of a frustration. The second one is even more frustrating, and that is trying to use Spotify on this watch. I will say that I looked up all kinds of helpful hints on how to get Spotify to work. So my thought was, I got the LTE version for 2 reasons. One, so I could actually listen to Spotify playlists offline. So obviously you can download Spotify playlists on here, but I wanted to be able to just listen to Spotify playlists. And I did go ahead and get a premium subscription so that I would be able to fully utilize the Spotify on this watch. And unfortunately, it just stinks. It has a hard time syncing up with my watch. And then as soon as I have it synced up with, if I have it connected up to the phone, it just all of a sudden won't go back into my Spotify. It's just all kinds of issues going on with Spotify and this watch. And I think honestly it's more of a Spotify issue. It's not really necessarily a Galaxy Gear watch issue, because I've looked it up and it's an issue with the Frontier. It's an issue with some other Galaxy watches as well. So Spotify on this watch, unfortunately, just really is more frustrating than it is useful, to be completely honest. So I've got it to work a couple times, but then as soon as I sync it back up to my phone, all of a sudden it's not working again. So that has been a huge frustration. So that's number 2. So those are the 2 biggest frustrations. And honestly, outside of that, it hasn't been too bad. All right, so now that I've talked about some of the things that I really am frustrated about with the Galaxy Watch, let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that I really love. So the first thing being Tizen Os. So this is using Tizen 4.0, and I gotta say, I haven't really used it a whole lot up until this point, but over the last couple of days, I really enjoy it. So that rotating bezel has been fantastic. The actual OS itself, I think, is very easy to use. It's nice, so we have all those shortcuts up here in the top. Of course, if you go to the right, you can go into all of your widgets, hit that back button, or the home button, sorry, this is the home button. You can go into all your recent apps. I'm not a huge fan of the recent app store, but you can adjust that however you want, so you can get your apps in whatever order you would like to see it. And that has been great. In terms of the actual apps that are available, that is a little bit limited, especially in comparison to like what you can get on my Apple Watch. I can definitely get a lot more apps on that one, but really everything you need is available here on the Galaxy Watch, with the exception of a quality music player, which has been really frustrating. But other than that, the Wear OS has been fantastic. That's something, not Wear OS, but Tizen OS, and I would actually say that I prefer that OS over Apple's OS, even over Wear OS that I have on my TicWatch Pro. I think that Samsung definitely has something going for it with Tizen 4.0, and even Tizen before that was really great. The second thing I really like is the build quality. I still think this is a fantastic looking watch. Again, you can take these bands off, so if you want something a little bit nicer, so if you want some stainless steel bands, obviously you can throw those on. They're just the 22 millimeter bands. That has been really good. GPS, I already mentioned, has been dead on. In terms of monitoring health, I think it does a fantastic job. So obviously your step count, your sleep count, or your sleep amount, that has been very accurate. The calories that you're burning during the day, the heart rate is good until you start getting really worked up in those activities. I noticed that it just slipped up, and it's not as good as what I have on my Apple Watch, and certainly not as good as what I get on my Garmin watches. So that has been maybe just a little bit of an issue. But outside of that, this watch has been really fantastic. There's just been a couple of really major frustrations for me. And for me, that's kind of a big deal, because I like running with my watch. So I don't really care that much about the heart rate, but having music and like reliable music that I can listen to while I'm actually running, that part has been nice, or it would be nice to have on this watch. So if they could somehow get Spotify to work better on this watch, it would be a watch that I would want for a long time, and really it might even be the best watch out there right now. But because of that frustration, and because even transferring music over to it, there was a little bit of a frustration there as well. I got it to work, but still just not working quite like it should, not as seamlessly as what you get on like Wear OS or even on this watch as well. So overall, I think the Samsung Galaxy Watch is a great watch. It's really a fantastic watch, but there are definitely some things to work out, especially if you're going to pay $450 for a watch like this, which is what I paid out the door after taxes and getting it on my T-Mobile account. If you get the regular one, it's going to be $350, or I think $370, $330, $350 for the 42 or the 46 millimeter. Battery life, I've kind of already mentioned before, but battery life has been pretty good. So you can see I'm at 49%. I've been using it all day, so it's almost 10 o'clock at night. And I've been using it, as you can see right here, on LTE, and also connected up to my phone almost the entire day. So I can easily get through a full day. Now, if I just had it connected up to my phone and turned LTE off, it gets much better battery life. So you can look at probably multiple days of battery life if you just have it connected without the LTE. I just wanted to see what it would do on LTE, and basically I can get about a day and a half if I'm fully utilizing everything this watch can do. So anyways, just a quick look on my thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy Watch. Is it worth upgrading from the S3 Frontier? If that's what you have, I would definitely say no. Really, the only upgrade you get there is the extra waterproofing and maybe an updated design a little bit. But outside of that, I really don't see a reason why someone with the S3 Frontier would upgrade to this unless they just wanted the smaller version. So the 42 millimeter If you thought the S3 Frontier was too big for you and you wanted to go to the 42 millimeter, and they have the more rose gold color, so more, I guess, feminine color, then obviously the Galaxy Watch would be great for you. But overall, if you have the S3 Frontier, I'd say you don't need to be jealous of the Galaxy Watch. Just stick with the S3 Frontier for now until Samsung comes out with a new watch next year. So anyways, my quick thoughts on the Galaxy Watch so far after 48 hours. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.